So, guys, I want to tell you about someone that I met. And since it's so close to Halloween, it's perfect. This is Tony Moran. And Tony Moran played Michael Myers, or the face of Michael Myers, in the first Halloween movie, which was like 1978. So, if you see Halloween, at the end of the movie, there's kind of like a struggle where I think Jamie Lee Curtis, she pulls his Michael Myers mask up, and you get to see Michael Myers' face, and that's Tony Moran. Now, Tony Moran is related to Erin Moran, that's his sister, who was on a show called Happy Days. She played Joni, and she was Joni on Happy Days. Then she had a show called Joni Loves Chachi, which is like another show. But Tony Moran played the face of Michael Myers. Here's some people dressed up as Michael Myers, and this took place in Salem, Massachusetts. Salem, Massachusetts is like Halloween capital of the world. Once the first week of October hits, it's the whole town is basically a Halloween town. And I always tell people, if you have to visit it once, do it. You know, especially if you love Halloween, it's just great for adults and kids. There's lots of stuff there. Now, this is Nick Castle. Nick Castle played Michael Myers in the movie as well, but he was Michael Myers you've seen walking around, chasing people, all that good stuff. What Tony Moran did, the only thing he did, was at the end of the movie, when there was a struggle and there was a fight, his mask was taken off and he showed his face. So I got to talk with him. He was at this place called the Nightmare Gallery. I didn't even know he was there. Halloween is one of my favorite Halloween movies, the first one. The first Halloween from like 1978, I believe. Probably one of the best horror movies you're going to see. And it's the best Halloween movie you're ever going to see. It's Halloween. It's great. And I go into this Nightmare Gallery, and I seen that board outside. I didn't know what it was. When you go to Salem, Massachusetts, there's all sorts of stuff like that, especially during the month of October. They'll have, people like a Tony Moran, people that were in horror movies, and there's people dressed up as costumes and who's appearing when, and it's all month long, so you never kind of know the specific of it, and you walk into places and there may be something going on. It's a crapshoot. And I really don't plan for it. I just kind of go there. Usually I go there the week before Columbus Day. Sometimes I go there Columbus Day weekend. I've also been there on Halloween. It's kind of random. I'll pop up there when I just have a free moment to leave, New York City and take a ride. So that day I get there. I go into this Nightmare Gallery, which is basically like a Madame Tussauds, but it's a Madame Tussauds for horror films and horror movies. And basically it has all your horror characters. You name them. Everything from, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Nightmare on Elm Street and all this stuff. And it has like the real life-size figures of these people. And it has some sort of scene set up. So it might have a room which is like a Nightmare on Elm Street, but it'll have the scene of like a bed and a Freddy Krueger, like a whole thing, but it's set up and it's really cool. So as you're walking through it, there's a back room, and I kind of see like the board, and I see him sitting there, and he's there by himself. There wasn't a lot of people in there, and he was a nice guy. He was talking, and I usually, when I meet people, I engage in conversations with them. I like to talk with them. He was telling me that he used to, when he wanted to be an actor, he was out in California, and he was, he wanted to be an actor. His sister was an actor, and he was playing, he was standing in front of a store dressed up as a Frankenstein, like basically a guy trying to get people into this store. I don't know what type of store it was, but he was dressed up as a Frankenstein. I think he said he was approached by John Carpenter, who I guess saw him, acting like a Frankenstein, and, it fit Michael Myers, because Michael Myers kind of has that Frankenstein feeling, like that slow walk. They asked him if he wanted to be in a movie. He said he got paid $250 to be in the movie, and it was, wasn't a big part. It was basically a part of him kind of like busting through a closet door, and like he basically had a mask on. The mask would be taken off. His face would be shown for, a couple of seconds, and that was it. He said for $250 back then, it was like, yeah, when was asked to be in Halloween 2, and he refused to be in Halloween 2, which was a bad move. Because if he was in Halloween 2, he showed his face. Halloween 2 might have been a different movie. It might have been more where you seen that face more, right? And you seen him talking. All sorts of things could have happened if he agreed to be in Halloween 2. He didn't want to be in Halloween 2. He really didn't give an answer why he didn't want to be in Halloween 2, but he did want to be an actor. He wanted to follow in the footsteps of his sister. Didn't happen, and he became a mortgage broker. He was a guy you went to. He became a mortgage guy. If you're looking to buy a house, you went to him, and he tried to get you a loan for a mortgage to buy a house. So he was somebody that did mortgages. Halloween, the original movie, went to be a tremendous success. It's a cult movie. I mean, it's Halloween. The guy Nick Castle, who was the Michael Myers throughout the whole movie, and he's the one that you see walking and chasing Jamie Lee Curtis through the movie. He just, I think, reprised that role a couple of years ago when they redid Halloween. And these guys are older, and he took on that role of Michael Myers again, and you could see a picture of him. The other thing he was telling me, so when you go to Salem, you have people dressed up. They're dressed up as every character you can imagine: Michael Myers, Jason, Pennywise, Freddy Krueger, you name it, and they're there. And I said to him, you see all these guys, dressed up as Michael Myers. What happens? They dress up and they take pictures for tips. So you're standing there and you can take a picture with them, and they have like a bucket that says tips appreciated, and people throw them $1 or so. And I said, you see these guys out there and they're dressed up, as you kind of. What do you think about that? And he's like, can you effing believe it? These guys are probably making more money than me standing there, dressed up as a costume. I said, you should go out there. I said, you should go out there with this billboard thing, that has you. I said, now stand there in a corner, you can take a picture with the real Michael Myers. I said, you probably make a lot of money. And he was like, yeah, I should do that. He was laughing it off. But he seemed like he was a nice guy. What did he do? After this thing ended, he wanted to get out of there. I guess he was like a 2-hour thing, that they had him booked for. And the minute this thing was ending, he was like, walk out with me. He wanted to walk out of there. He was walking out. He wanted to walk out of this place. And they gave him a knife, like a knife that you would see, basically a big butcher knife. And they wanted him to sign it. And he signed it. The guy gave him the butcher knife and asked him the owner of this place, gave him a pen and a thing to sign the knife. But it was a butcher knife. And whatever pen it's metal. Whatever pen they gave him wouldn't write, or if it wrote, it smudged, and they had to kind of get like a proper pen or some sort of pen. I guess maybe a Sharpie or even something more than a Sharpie that would write on the metal of a knife. And he wrote on it, towards the end of the knife. And then they said, can you, stab it into the wall? And he stabs it into the wall of this place, and that's it. And he walked out, and I don't know. That's the whole story. And I wanted to share it. It's Halloween, so happy Halloween. I hope all you guys are doing great. I hope that you go trick-or-treating, or you take your kids trick-or-treating, or do whatever it is you do on Halloween. It's definitely the best time of the year. October, November, December, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. I have a question. Do kids still run around and throw eggs and shaving cream and all that type of stuff? When I was a kid, at least once I hit 13, 14, more 14, 15, it was all about shaving cream and eggs and I guess whatever else we could get our hands on. And I don't really see that anymore, at least where I live. I'm not seeing a group of kids marching down the block, 10 or 20 kids, throwing eggs and shaving cream and stuff like that at each other and looking for another group of kids to basically go at it with. But do you still have that in your neighborhood? If you do, let me know. Write the comment in the comment section below if stuff like that is still going on where you live, because that was pretty. That was another fun part of Halloween that I liked. Like, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed that story. I wasn't allowed to take photos or videos in this nightmare gallery. They don't want you to take a photo. They don't want to take a video. It is what it is. But I wanted to talk about it anyway because I love Halloween and I love Halloween the movie. And that's that. So I hope you guys are doing well. I don't know. Like, subscribe, comment. Hope you're making money. I hope you're staying healthy. I hope you're being happy. And that's really it. All right? I will talk to you guys soon and stay safe. All right.